Hello everyone and welcome to our channel dedicated to the world of cryptocurrencies. Here you will find market updates, project reviews and advice to help you make informed decisions in the world of cryptocurrencies. So let's not waste any more time and dive into our crypto world together. I invite you to follow me on the channel to always be updated. Today we will talk about
Yesterday, Bitcoin had a strong upward reaction, filling all these areas, and this morning it seems like I want to fill everything to generate a new minimum. We also have several on-chain charts that are showing us very important. We have a fairly positive general situation today, but it could degenerate at any moment because the price of Bitcoin is undergoing a large retracement phase this morning. Has carried out a nice crash right at this moment which could easily continue, and therefore we have the whole high sector which seems to be performing quite well because yesterday we saw a strong bullish impulse from Bitcoin. If we see on a weekly basis, we have instead a negative situation with the sector of the others which is suffering a little. We have many others which have a minus 10% to 15% and so on, while on the monthly magazine friends we still have a fairly mixed situation, but several alts seem to recover part of their decline. So we have a big lateralization phase and Bitcoin doesn't seem to want to move upwards much now. If we read the news, let's go and see some chain graphs. And then we will move on to the charts. Since in the last cycle the old-time high sold grayscale coins at the peaks, grayscale managed to get back out of the water only when the price exceeded 50,000, and the point of the POS is that they are whales in the market selling over 1 million BTC to newcomers at the peaks every cycle. If we visualize this graph friends, we can see how it is giving us a very important signal. A very important signal that indicates to us that we will most likely be able to see a continuation, because if we visualize cycle after cycle, this indicator showed us that when the price of Bitcoin left this band and therefore carried out a bullish continuation, we saw this band move away from the price and go to make new historical highs. We also saw it in the last cycle where the price of Bitcoin reached $60,000 and then had this reaction and therefore a departure from this band. Where the price of Bitcoin created this whole range, Viola also created it in the past before having the strong expansion, and now we have the line that seems to be moving away from the price. But if that were really the case, if the exact same situation were to occur where it could, the price of Bitcoin will arrive, well, we could see it really very high in this cycle. Let's hope. Well friends, let's see how it will behave, how it will develop. Let's see how this other chain graph indicates to us that despite all the negativity of the market, there are no signals in the on-chain data that could indicate the end of the bullish cycle. Every time this graph shows both the market tops and the tops in the BR market phase, we can see how he was almost always right, and in the moments when we were at the peaks of the market we entered these red zones. Give no bearish signal from these indicators. Now the latest graph is a chain which indicates to us that the price of Bitcoin, every time it reached historical highs, we saw the formation of these zones, therefore a maximum peak at inside these zones. We saw it in the last cycle where it touched these peak zones, and we also saw the price of Bitcoin go on this line going upwards. So we saw a continuation of this impulse towards this band. We can notice as cycle after cycle has always been like this, we could see the exact same thing, and friends, here we could see the price of Bitcoin really go upwards. We can also notice how essentially this indicator, which has shown us the tops many times, is showing us that at the moment we are still in a very interesting area. But if we see cycle after cycle, these red areas have lasted a really long time. Currently the graph doesn't seem to want to then continue. So these are some of the quite positive signals today. Now let's look at the Bitcoin graph, because if we visualize at very small time frames, we can see that this morning we had a strong reaction from the price which seems to be going to recover many zones, because friends, yesterday we saw an upward reaction but it did not break any important zone. So we saw this reaction and now it seems that it is structuring towards its path towards its bearish structure. But don't worry, because now we are going to first pan to larger time frames and then we will move on to smaller time frames. Today I'll drop you the copy trading strategies. Sorry, because I was finalizing some things, but we're almost there, and today I'll probably drop you the free copy trading strategies. If we view the daily time frame graph, we can see that Bitcoin had this reaction yesterday bullish, and at this moment it seems to be walking inside this channel here, this channel which brought the price of Bitcoin to touch it again yesterday, go and get liquidity. And now friends, we have some statistics at a statistical level. At the moment we are in a bearish impulse. At larger time frames we are in a bullish trend, but if we see the medium term structure, it is going to make decreasing highs and lows. So when the price of Bitcoin these days, today it reached these highs here which generated this low, it didn't invalidate it, so it only took liquidity and then continued its phase. This morning we saw the price of Bitcoin collapse. We saw this red candle and probably also today if it doesn't give reactions to talk about a long now. I would like to see a break of this maximum, but today we could see a continuation and probably also see the price of Bitcoin go to make a minimum of $60,000, and we forget that with time frames a little larger than 15 minutes we can visualize that here we find a large empty area, which could be filled today or tomorrow. We will be able to meet friends. Don't miss the next crypto flight. Thanks for being with us. If you want to stay updated on the latest news from the crypto world and not miss a single crypto adventure, hit that "Follow Me" button and activate the bell. Ready to go? Then see you in the next video.